Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. There are many empaths in this community, absolutely. People who feel other people's pain and want to hold and love and serve others, and these are all beautiful traits. Many healers have them, people connected in human services that make a difference, and many people who are drawn to personal development and spiritual industries also usually roll this way. This episode is about narcissists and empaths, and what I'm going to talk about today in regard to empaths is not going to be popular with everyone, and that's okay because I'm committed to delivering the truths that will set us free. And I'm very aware that there is a big movement out there that positions the empath as the wonderful, giving person. And of course, the narcissist is the terrible person who takes advantage of the goodness of the empath. And I'm going to burst that bubble. And please know it is one that I used to live in. And the problem with that was when I just thought that my integrity and my trust and sensitivity and giving nature was what caused me to be abused by a narcissist. I was missing the bigger picture. I was nowhere near the truth, and I didn't have the ability to heal and get out of the nightmare and the trauma of narcissistic abuse. Do empaths often find themselves in relationships with narcissists? Yes, absolutely they do. Is it because they have such good hearts and are sensitive souls? No. That is one of the features of empaths, which narcissists enjoy mining, but it is not the reason why the connection, enmeshment and abuse happens. There are many wonderful giving people who will never get taken in by a narcissist. I used to be the former nice person with sensitivity and integrity when I was taken in by narcissists, and now I know I'm an even nicer person than I used to be, aspiring to be more and more conscious and evolved in my life as a lifestyle choice, which means a greater capacity to be in my heart center, being generous, loving and giving. As a result of healing the wounds that going with being an empath, I give in healthier ways now than I ever did previously as an empath who was still wounded. And in no shape or form am I a narcissist snack anymore. Being giving, open-hearted and generous is wonderful, but these beautiful traits are not healthy or wholesome when they're coming from an unhealed inner wounded center. Because any action activated from a wounded trigger will only create more toxicity and wounds. And of course, when we are still unconscious, meaning we've always acted like this because it's been our normal, probably all of our life, we may not have made the connection between these young unhealed wounds and being in relationships with people who bring us more of these wounds. Which of course is all happening for us so that our wounds can come to the surface and be recognised and healed. When we are wounded empaths still caught up in the enmeshments and the obsessions of narcissistic abuse, we are trying to take on the responsibility of healing and fixing broken, damaged people who are not healing. When we heal our inner wounds that were causing us to do this, we start empowering people, in stark contrast, who are ready to heal themselves. And we know the healthiest thing we can ever do for anyone is to make sure we are firmly committed to healing our own self back to wholeness before trying to fix them. Because if they are capable of healing, they are much more likely to move up into our energy because we're leading by example. And if they are not capable of self-honesty and healing, we stop enabling their dysfunctions by trying to take responsibility for them. The following is the biggest thing I realised as a previous wounded empath. I was constantly focused outwards, feeling other people's energy, trying to be safe. I hadn't realised at that point in my life that the only way I was ever going to feel safe was to focus on feeling and healing my own inner energy. because the people triggering me on the outside were showing me what I needed to heal on the inside. Ironically, when I took on the Thriver healing journey, an incredible and life-transforming shift happened. No longer were my questions, have I upset him? What do I need to do to fix this? They became, what wound within me is this trigger relating to? And when I went inwards to investigate, hold and heal that wound, what I found was, if I don't keep this person happy with me, they will hurt me, meaning criticize, reject, abandon, or punish. Which of course were the traumas I'd carried from a very young age. When I worked on healing these wounds, no longer was I tuning outwards, trying to read people's energy to try to give them what was required in order to love and accept me, and so that I could be safe. I've discovered the same with the greatest majority of the NARPers, the people who work with the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program in this community. When they heal those young oversensitivities that enmesh them into feeling others' energy significantly and handing over power, they lose that anxious sensitivity that has caused them to twist themselves into pretzels in really unhealthy ways to try to be loved and safe, which is a huge recipe for getting involved and stuck in a relationship with a narcissist. As thrivers, when we start feeling all wrapped up into someone else's energy and trying to read them to work out who to be, we know we're in wrong town, and we go inside to start working on why we are doing this and feeling this. Please know this is very, very different from being intuitive and caring about people and saying something like, "Are you okay? Is there something you'd like to talk about?" And then respecting this if that person doesn't, or granting space if that is what they need, or having a conversation that may be forthcoming. However, when we are solid and healthy on the inside, we are not affected by their energy in adverse ways. So let's just say this person said, when we asked them what's wrong, "Nothing that I want to talk about right now." We could reply to that with something like, "Okay, but please know I'm here for you when you do want to." And then we get on with whatever we are doing, knowing we are not responsible for that person's emotion, just as they are not responsible for your emotions. In other words, they don't have to be chirpy and cheery just so that you can feel okay. I thought I'd turn my phone off. Damn it. Narcissists love empaths drowning in emotional trauma baths as a reaction to their dark energy. And narcissists go from being high as kites and funny and delightful when they're full of narcissistic supply to dark, angry, seething pits of depression when they're empty of supply and their inner wounds have grabbed them and are mucking with them. Empaths feel this, are triggered right back into their unhealed childhood traumas of trying to read people's energy to try to stay safe, and go into anxiety or overdrive trying to offset the narcissist's black mood. Narcissists believe if they are suffering, somebody else should too. The empath impacted by a narcissistic downturn is the perfect target to project their pain onto and mine and abuse. I want to demonstrate to you with this example the difference between a wounded empath and an empath in their body centered in their own self-love and self-responsibility. Imagine someone standing in front of a crowd about to deliver a speech. This person is conscious of the seat of people and looks at a girl in the second row playing with her phone, and another person up the back who's yawning and feels anxious. And he thinks, how am I going to get these people's interest? What do I have to do? Whereas another person stands up to deliver their speech and he just becomes the passion of the speech. He has no focus on the crowd other than pouring his own energy from within him to beyond his personal space. These are the differences in beliefs. The unhealed empath believes to be approved of, I have to appeal to others. The healed individual believes I'm sharing my unique contribution with the world by being my authentic self. The unhealed empath believes by working out and fitting in with my outside world, I can be whole on the inside. The healed person believes by working out and healing my inside world, I'm going to show up authentically, and then more wholeness will be generated in my outside world. Can you see the huge difference? Can you understand that our life is never about working out other people? It's about working ourselves out, meaning releasing our own trauma and wounds so that we can be organically whole and no longer trying to change and fix other people in order to feel whole. Can you see now that the giving, generous, caring side of you as an empath is not what got you hooked into a narcissist? It was actually about sensing somebody else's trauma energy and trying to fix it in order to be safe, which is exactly what you were doing as a child. You are reenacting these young unhealed wounds that are still a living force within you and will be until you go to them and heal them. What do narcissists need to emotionally survive? Narcissistic supply, which is other people being intensely focused on them and granting them their energy, that good or bad attention that allows the narcissist to feel significant, to feel alive. What do unhealed empaths do? Focus intensely on other people and get involved in what they are feeling and doing in order to try to grant themselves safety. This is why unhealed empaths make fertile grazing paddocks for narcissists. And when empaths don't realize the truth of this and then get devastated with the beliefs of, you took my entire life from me when all I did was give and give and give to you with all of the generosity in my heart and soul, and I promise you I was there, I did that. They become toxic and play out intense victimization. And then truly, it is very, very difficult for most people to be able to tell the difference between a narcissist and the unhealed empath. They are both so toxic. And the drama between the narcissist and the empath escalates with the empath handing the narcissist A-grade supply and even more intense energy and attention, which is even higher supply, higher grade supply. Of course, to break out of all of this place, which is one where we are powerless to heal because we've not come home to ourselves and the real truth, we have to get humble. We have to get real. We have to see what has really been going on and then not shame and blame ourselves, but love and heal ourselves instead. By doing that, we are taking responsibility for the sovereignty of our soul and emotions, and we start allowing other adults to take responsibility for theirs. And if they choose not to, no longer do we have to jump in and try and fix them in order to feel okay. Rather, we can hold our own energy field and integrity regardless of what they choose to do with theirs. That means you are inoculated against narcissists. Think about it. The only way they can hook you and mess with you is when you've assigned someone else as your source of emotional well-being. And think about this. The only time we ever do that is when we are not being that source to ourselves. I really hope that you are inspired now to heal so that you'll become an organic whole source to yourself. Because if you do, I promise you will get out of this torture and change yourself and your life beyond recognition for the better, truly. So that's it for this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it and you didn't take it too hard, because the truth does set us free. And please come over to the blog if you'd like to join the conversation for this episode at blog.melanietonyevans.com. And until next time, keep healing, keep smiling, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.